Sound check. Can everyone hear me? Well, I sure hope so. Okay. Okay. Hello everybody, my name is Land from Teets, and I hope you can hear me well. I will be posting this after the live sale so that anybody who wasn't able to make it during the show can still go through, see all the books, hear all the information, and have an opportunity to purchase things. We have a bit of an update to our setup here, so if you have any questions or concerns, please let me know. And again, constructive criticism is super welcome, as this is yet another test run. Hopefully this is an improvement over the last one, and please let me know either in the comments, via email, text message, smoke signals, carrier pigeons, Ouija board, anything of that nature, or if you live here in Folsom, you can just roll down your window and yell. But yeah, please let me know what I can do to improve, what I can do to make it better, or if there's just certain kinds of material that you want to see that you're not seeing right now. I'd love to hear it. So to start, I already actually have some items up here on the wall. There's a little bit of what we had last week. I believe that video is public, so if you want to go through all of it, you're more than welcome to. There's just some things I wanted to highlight again. Of course, we have the Deadpool movie that I'm really excited about coming out. Those are both 6.5 graded newsstands. So again, those are represent a much smaller portion of the market. They're extremely difficult to come by in high grade. These are mid grade, but as you can see, they are still $65 each. And those are on A. I believe there's some information scrolling at the bottom of your screen. If you do want to claim something, just type in the comments claim A. And I believe if you are watching this after the fact, after it's live, go ahead and in the comments of the video post itself on YouTube, go ahead and type claim in a letter as well. I'll be checking and responding to those, and as long as it wasn't claimed during the actual live sale, it will also be offered on a first come first served basis. So these broadcasts, streams, if you will, are going to be extremely fun to watch live, but again, they will live on after they are live, just so you know, if anyone can't make it at that exact time, we totally understand, life happens, and I've chosen the 6 o'clock section just because I believe most people are off work by 6, and the East Coast still has time to watch, and it's not getting too terribly late. If you're in England, I'm sorry, it's probably the middle of the night for you, and if you are here, then you're just super diehard, and we super appreciate it. I have a Super Mario Brothers #1 on letter B. It's a 6.0 for $59, and that is the first appearance of Nintendo, period, in comic books, which is a pretty big deal. I think it's overlooked. As you can see, we got the titular character right there on the cover in his little flying squirrel glory. So in addition to Nintendo, it's also the first appearance of Mario. Here is a fantastic book. I actually posted this upon the Facebook and the local Sacramento comic book collectors group just about a half an hour ago. So if you want a close-up picture, there is one posted on Facebook. Ideally, you're watching this at a computer, so it should be easy to kind of pop back and forth between the video itself and other web pages, social media platforms, etc. If not, just ask, and I'm more than happy to do a close-up with the camera. I can set it in front of my featured cam. We got 2 cameras running this time. And of course, I can always take the bag off and take some really, really high resolution native photos after the show. If you're really, really concerned, you just want to make sure that any specific details are up to snuff for your personal collection. But this is a 9/6 white pages. This is a Dave Stevens cover art issue. This is Planet Comics #1. These books are red hot right now. They've kind of plateaued over the last month, I noticed, on the market. But that being said, I remember picking this book up a few years ago for maybe like 50 bucks. And as you can see, it's $750 right now. The highest sale I've seen in the last year was $1,250. So 500 less than that. I think that's a pretty good deal. And you know, on top of that, it's just, I mean, he's always been one of the best artists. He's finally getting his attention and the appreciation he deserves, hailing from kind of the late 80s, early 90s. He's also the artist and the creator of The Rocketeer. We have that Rocketeer movie coming up, and that's probably one of the reasons why all of his art in general is increasing in value and just kind of general awareness. But it was part of the early independent phase, I would say, of the late 80s, early 90s. This book is, yeah, this is 1988. So your markets back then were still heavily dominated by DC and Marvel. So with an independent book like this, the distribution is going to be really low. What people thought about it as far as the collectability and, you know, as far as like investments go and things like that back then, nobody really had any idea that this would this artist in particular, more so than the title, would take off this way. But that's also a really good sign for people that are interested in the kind of more collectible aspects of the comic book market and industry. Is because if anything is ever advertised as a collectible, it probably won't be very collectible in the future, i.e. Death of Superman, which I have one of those coming up. And if people think it's garbage or it's only for kids and they end up throwing them away and using them for insulation in their house, like some of those Action 1s have, then it has a much, much better chance of becoming something that's actually valuable. So yeah, we got, and it's just classic good girl art. I got Twisted Tales #1 right here. It's a 9/8. It's a part of the same post. And this one is $150, 9/8 white pages. These are actually out of my personal collection. I just wanted to share something that is exciting to me personally, in addition to being very relevant in the market right now. And then, so the Twisted Tales #1 is on D. Planet Comics #1 is on C. And then we have Sally Forth #8, 9/4 white pages. And this is the Adam Hughes cover on E. That one's $325. So I just wanted to start off with the top row real quick so you know what's going on up there. Again, check out the posts if you want a closer up, otherwise ask. Moving on, and I think should be on the left side of your screen, is a close-up of what I'm going to refer to as the featured item. This way I don't have to hold it in front of you, stumble over my words, peek around kind of creepily and slowly tell you about a book, and you can just kind of stare at it to your heart's content. If you have any questions, of course, please ask. I'm going to go through a brief description of these, as much as I can do off the top of my head. I don't have a teleprompter yet, but after I'm done telling you as much as possible, I'll put this book up here on the wall next to a letter. Same rules apply for claiming, and I might read a couple extra factoids about it as I go. So we have a Wolverine #24. The only special thing about this book is it's just an iconic art. Wolverine Logan takes a lot of trips to Japan, as depicted by the second Wolverine standalone film, and this one is just one of the more well-known covers from that time period. So this is Wolverine #24 in an 8.5 for $34, and it's going to go up on F. Got a Blade Runner #1. This was not an ongoing series. This is a limited series, so this is #1 of 2. I actually don't see #2 very often. I have a whole long box of #1. I guess, given the laws of supply and demand, maybe I shouldn't give out that information. But again, I only have a handful of them graded and available, so that's really what matters. This is #1 of 2. It's a mini-series that came out right after the movie, starring Harrison Ford, of course. This is an 8.0 for $21. And I'm going to put this one up on G. Roger Rabbit #1, classic cartoon. I did cover this one in the last live sale, so if you want to know more about it, go ahead and check that out. I'm going to go ahead and put it up on H. $15 and an 8.0 on H. We got X-Force #2. I believe this one was also covered. The second appearance of Deadpool. Rob Liefeld cover, Can't Draw Feet. This is X-Force #2, second appearance of Deadpool. It's a 9.2 for $16. I'm going to go ahead and put this one up on I. And if you are viewing this after the fact, not live, go ahead and leave a timestamp. So if you want to say claim, claim A, leave a timestamp, because I am going to do multiple walls, so there will be multiple A's, B's, C's, etc. The timestamp will help me quickly narrow down which one you're talking about, and again, if it is still available, it's yours. So we have an X-Force #11. This is the first appearance of Domino, even though it is somebody impersonating her. I mean, she's on the cover. It's a great cover. This is an 8.0 for $9. It's also a later newsstand, so this is much more collectible. It's going to go up on J. And we got Suicide Squad #1. Personally, I like that movie. I was talking to somebody the other day who also likes that movie. It's kind of like one of those, like, word on the street is it's a very entertaining film. It got torn apart when it came to theaters, and some of the comic shop discussions aren't super friendly about those films. But I actually think they're both pretty entertaining and a lot of fun, and I think the Suicide Squad franchise has a lot of legs. This is a cool 80s #1. It's an 8.5 for $16. Great cover. I think I have 2 copies of that. It's going to go up on K. I have a 8.5 for 16 and an 8.0 for 14. So if 16 is too rich for your blood, we got one for $14. So we're covering everyone's disposable income levels are absolutely covered. Next up is Godzilla, King of the Monsters #1. He has one of the goofiest little grins on there for a giant lizard that I've ever seen. Kind of looks like me in college if I bought Jack in the Box after 2 a.m. And this is a 7.0 for $14. It's an independent book, think late 80s, early 90s. I'm going to go ahead and put this one up on L. And the cover art is Steve Bissette, who off the top of my head I can't really think of anything else that he did, but that is a fact about this comic indeed. So I'll put that one up on L. Morbius, has made famous by Jared Leto, issue #1. It's a 9.0 for $12. That one originally came polybagged. This one came polybagged when it came across my desk. I cut it out and verified the grade and priced it accordingly. But I did include the polybag, the poster, the trading card, and anything else that ever comes with or inside the polybag. For some reason, they're very near and dear to my heart. I think it's really cool when they include other things with comics when you purchase them. But it's always included in the package, or as much of it as possible, if I wasn't the one to actually take it out. So yeah, it's a 9.0, $12. Issue 1, really, really cool cover art. This is going to go up on M. M for Morbius. Didn't even plan that. We got a Deadpool #1, 9.4 for $69. I covered that last week. It's a relatively common book, but it's an extremely popular book. Has an awesome cover. Again, we have the 3rd movie coming out. This one can't hurt. It's going nowhere but up. And I have a 5.0 newsstand copy of that, 1993, about less than, about 10% of the market. That one is $19. I'll go ahead and put these guys, well, I'll put one on N. I'll put the newsstand on N, N for newsstand, and then I'll put the regular, the 9.4 copy on O for pool. There's O's in pool. Anyways, we got issue #2 of 4. You actually see 2 through 4 much less. Actually, whoops. Bad habit. Blame Instagram. You see issue #2 a lot less than #1. Same with issues 3 and 4. This one's a 9.4 for $29. I'm going to go ahead and put it up on letter P for pool. We got RoboCop versus Terminator. I think it's the first time that they ever meet. Issue 185 for $16. Pretty low print run for the independent comics at that time. It's a neat cover. I've heard it's a very fun story to read, and you're going to have a lot of firsts in there, so you really can't go wrong. That's going to go up on Q. All right. So I got Jurassic Park #1. That is the first appearance of Jurassic Park in comic books. It's a 7.0 for $14, so you can only imagine what a CGC 9.8 is going to go for. So if you have one of those kicking around in your collection, it might be a good time to dust it off, see what kind of grade you can get, and maybe trade it for something, or it might become just a really awesome part of your collection. I like the cover art. You got Timmy on here. I think this is before he gets electrocuted. And we're going to put that up on R, and it comes with a bunch of trading cards. So that's a lot of fun. Go up on R. We got the Max #1. It's an 8.5 for $14. It's at Sam Keith Art, Sacramento local. Enough said about that. I did cover it last week. And then the last one, which for the All Comics and Collectibles LLC alphabet, it does end in T for now. All we have is A through T. So whatever words you can spell with A through T, that's all we can actually say. That's all you can type in the comments. I will not recognize U's, V's, W's, X's, Y's, or Z's, even though they are right here. Once we get that third camera up, then we can use those letters. Those are just the rules. This is Preacher #1. It's a 9.2 plus for $80. I absolutely love that show. Thought it was done extremely well. I don't know if there's more than a second season. Please let me know in the comments if there is. Really, really cool art. Glenn Fabry did the art on this. So cool. What else we got? Sonic the Hedgehog #2. That's a 1993 newsstand, and if we had a real audience, that one would be flying off of the shelf. Kind of like how Sonic zooms through the levels if you grew up playing Sega Genesis like I did. It's a 9.0 plus for $41. Those books are really hard to come by in high grade. They're very low print run, and again, a newsstand, you're looking at around 10% of the distribution at that time. So if you're a Sonic fan, or if you're kind of on the video games and comics hype train as far as investable asset classes that you think have a lot of legs in the near future, then this is a great book for you, and it's also a really good cover. So I don't have space for that right now, so I'll go ahead and put the Sonic. Remember to use those timestamps. I'm going to put the Sonic up here on A, and I'm going to take the Wolverine 88 down. And that would be our first wall. Give everybody a second to take that in. And if you need, if you want to make any claims, especially once the video is posted, go ahead and do that now. I'm going to take this down, and we'll get started on the next pile of books. I'm not going to start with Lion King, though. I did promise the Death of Superman because I was talking about it earlier, and I'm going to put this hopefully in the right spot right there, and I'm just be right back in like 10 seconds. Was that 10 seconds? I think that was 10 seconds. Okay, so I'll go in reverse order here. We got the Preacher, Max 1, Jurassic Park 1, so many #1s. RoboCop Terminator 1, Deadpool 2, Deadpool 1, Deadpool 1, Morbius 1, Godzilla 1, Suicide Squad 1. I think I know what the theme should have been for tonight. We had X-Force 11, we got X-Force 2, Roger Rabbit 1, Blade Runner 1, Wolverine 24. I still got these guys here at the top. I'll probably take them down, but we got the Super Mario Brothers 1, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. It's down right here. Little bit of housekeeping. Take these guys down as well. Probably take some pictures of these guys anyway, and post them as static sale posts on the various social media platforms as well. So keep an eye out for that if you are interested. And we'll go ahead and move right along. We got the Superman 75, Death of Superman, spoiler alert. It's been out for over 20, almost 30 years now, so I don't think that really counts as a spoiler. Really cool cover, one of the most sold comics of all time, somewhere between 6 and 8 million. That's $8 for 1993 newsstand, first printing, 6.0 copy. It's going to go up on A for awesome comic book. We have Darkhawk #1 in a 9.0 for $14. That is the first appearance of Darkhawk. It's one of those B, C, maybe D list Marvel characters, but for all we know, it will be used in alternative media or other media avenues soon. Remember Guardians of the Galaxy, nobody knew about before they used them in movies, and that was an absolute monster hit. So who says they can't do that with Darkhawk? Put that up on B. One of my favorite covers next, Wolverine #8. First, Joe Fixit. It's one of the Hulk's personas. Later in the years, Bruce Banner develops a lot of other identities. Most of them featuring, primarily the Hulk, but this is like Smart Hulk, this is Aggressive Hulk, this is Joe Fixit, who's kind of like a gangster bouncer Hulk, I believe. Might be wrong, I haven't read it. I'm always going to be super honest with you about that. But even in 4.0, that's still a $7 book, really cool cover, also featuring Wolverine. I'm going to put that up on C. For a cool comic, we got Firestorm #1 in 8.5. Back to the DC world. This one's $15. I don't believe it's his first appearance. Let me see. Don't have any notes. Fantastic. I can put that one up on D. I'll do a little bit of research on that. I did not study enough the night before. This is why you should study before you go to bed, preferably for a week or two before the test and not just the night or 30 minutes before the test. Dark Crystal #1. I hear a lot of people are fans of that. It's a 5.5 for $12. Again, Marvel property, hasn't been used in other media for a long time. Huge, huge name, especially in kind of the more, I guess, a cult classic avenues of film and television. So if you want to speculate, this is one of those areas that I always recommend, something that a lot of people know about, something that didn't have a super high print run or anyone ever thought would be collectible. Checks all the boxes and has a good cover. I'm going to put that on letter F. I need to go back to kindergarten. Justice League #12. It's just a really cool Jim Lee cover. Got Wonder Woman and Superman making out on the cover as they fly over somewhere on Earth. Just very appealing to the eye, very romanticized, great artist. It's a 9.4 for $10. It's going to go up on G. Ghost Rider 2099 #1. It's the first appearance of Ghost Rider 2099. It's a really cool bordered hollow foil cover. 9.0 for $15. Just a straightforward fun book. All the 2099 books are becoming a lot more collectible. They're going up in value. They're being pulled out of storage units regularly. I know that because this one came out of a storage unit. And it's part of tonight's apparent theme. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one up on H. We got one of the first sets I made for the night. This is Gambit. It is #1, 2, 3, and 4. Average grade is a 7.5. The Gambit #1 cover is really cool. I offered one last week. I don't think it was picked up by itself. I think it's a much higher grade. So if that's what you're looking for, go check back. This is issues 1, 2, 3, and 4. It used to be $23. I'm offering the set for $15. A little bit of a deal here. So let's see. We can check out the covers up close. See if I can keep my eyes on the camera. And stay on at the same time. And this is going to go on I for Insanely Cool Comic. Amazing Spider-Man 430. This is a newsstand. It's only a 5.0 for $11. Super affordable. But it's the first Cosmic Carnage. So I believe the Carnage symbiote infects Silver Surfer. So they combine, they share powers. Pretty insanely deadly foe for Spider-Man. At least it sounds like to me. and it's also just a great cover. So I can go ahead and put that one up on J. This is a scarce book. It's one of the last last issues in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventure Series. This is issue 71. It's a 6.5 for $19. And I'm going to go ahead and put that one up on K. Letter K. Not gonna trick me with that number stuff. We got Fantastic Four versus the X-Men. This is another set. This one was originally $23. I'm asking $15. Average grade of 8.5. I believe it's a 7.5, 2 8.5s, and a 9.0. If my memory serves me correct, it usually doesn't. So we'll find out if I'm on point or not. It's the entire story, and I like to keep the grades as close together as possible. And my cats are meowing at me through the door. Hopefully that doesn't come up on the microphone. Hopefully it's loud enough. I did turn the microphone down a little bit to avoid clipping, so any feedback on that would be appreciated, or by myself on my lonesome, I'm just going to go back and watch the video and see if I can hear it or not. Either way, we'll get to the bottom of it. So we have 1.85, an 8.0, a 9.0, and a 9.0. Oh, that's way higher than I thought. Okay, it's better than I guessed. That's going to go on L. And again, if there's anything here that you're kind of on the fence about and it hasn't been claimed and you want, say, close-up pictures of it, you want me to take the books out, I won't offer to do every single page for you unless the book's more expensive, but certainly front and back, close-up on any defects, that is absolutely a-okay. More than happy to do it. That is, after all, my full-time job and what I'm here for. Now we have X-Men vs. the Avengers. It is $15. It used to be $22. It's issues 1 through 4. It's the whole story, and they are all 8.5s, which is what I like to see. So I can put that up on M for men. Make sure you can see all the different covers before I take them down. I think I missed that on the last one. You didn't miss much. The covers aren't very compelling. Hell of a salesman. Salesperson. Lion King, number 1, going back to that theme. The 9.2, it's also a newsstand, $49. First appearance of Lion King in comics. Can't go wrong with that. Put that on N. N for number N. And we got Radioactive Man number 1, one of the coolest. I mean, it's like the superhero in the Simpsons world, and they were a cartoon show in a sitcom in our world. So I don't know how many walls that is, but that's a lot. It's a glow-in-the-dark cover, issue 1, 7.5, $24. Goes for quite a bit now in high grade, especially with that black background on the cover. Very difficult to keep at that 9.8 level, just because every single little defect detail really pops on black covers, as we all know. I'm going to go ahead and put that one up on O. I don't remember if I covered it last week. Either way, it is so cool. It is absolutely worth covering twice. I'll put it right here. Spawn, number 1, 8.0 for $29. We have that movie coming out. One of the best, well-known independent comic covers of all time. Todd McFarlane at his best, or certainly his most memorable. It's 8.0, $29. Going to go up on P. Issue 2 and a 9.0 for $27. It's going to go up on Q. Got issue 5 and a 9.2 for $24. These are all Todd McFarlane covers. It's going to go up on R. We got one of my personal favorites. This has cooled off a ton recently, which is always a great time to buy. One of my favorite movies, favorite comic book stories to read. The art took some getting used to for me, but I do really appreciate the palette. It's not a common one. And of course, Alan Moore in his prime. We got V for Vendetta number 1. It's a 9.4 for $55. It's going to go up on S. And we got 2 copies, just in case. More than if 200% of our audience wants a copy of this book, we can do that. Go ahead and put that up on S. Last letter in the current ACC alphabet. T is going to be Dazzler number 1, 9.4 for $55, and I believe we also have 2 copies of that. If we don't, and I'm wrong, I think we have more than one. we'll see. I do know where a stack of raw copies are, and I can find you one. If you want one that has the air, remember there's like one Christmas Marvel ad page in the back last third of that book. If that's in black and white, it's the air copy, and if it's in color, it's the non-air copy. There is no difference in price, as there are just as many of each out there in the market. So don't let anybody fool you. 9.4, $55, 2 copies, and spectrum of all disposable incomes. We got a 9.2 for 34 and a 9.4 for 55. I'm just going to put these both on T. So if you are planning this in the chat, just specify which one. And again, if this is after the fact, make sure you put that timestamp on there so I can narrow down what wall you're talking about, and we're all on the same page, or wall. This probably doesn't look very attractive. We do have a W there. We found a W, so now we can use A through T and W as it has made its appearance on the rack. And it can't really hurt. I'm going to leave the wallet behind me just for a second. Just leave a little bit of a buffer between walls. I think that'll help on the after the fact postings. I got my next stack, my last stack loaded and ready to go. You should take a quick second, make sure that's all showing up correctly. I think test 3.0 is going pretty good. That means everybody in the room thinks it's going pretty good because I'm by myself. All right, X-Men number 222. We have Wolverine versus Sabretooth. They're brothers. Spoiler alert, 6.5 for $16. And I don't have anywhere to put it because I didn't take anything down. Oh, I did. I got E. I'm going to go ahead and put it on E. And then I'll take everything else down. And in the meantime, you get to look at issue 17, which is, well, Wolverine 17, which is a pretty damn cool art for Wolverine. That super red background. I think that's Jubilee. Might be wrong. We'll find out. Dazzler 1. V for Vendetta 1. Spawn 5. Spawn 2. Spawn 1. Radioactive Man 1. Lion King 1. We got that cool X-Men vs. Avengers set, issues 1 through 4. Fantastic Four versus the X-Men, issues 1 through 4. I got some little swinging pieces in my rack that I still needed. I was actually instructed to keep improving to myself on one stream, so I'm not going to finish that segment. I got that Turtles TMNT Adventures, number 71. Amazing Spider-Man 430, Gambit 1 through 4, Ghost Rider 2099 number 1, Justice League number 12, Dark Crystal number 1, and I'll leave that X-Men 222 up on E, Firestorm number 1, Wolverine number 8, Thorcock number 1, Darkhawk, Superman 75, and here for our week 2 piles, and we got our last pile for the night, and then we're good, or whatever time of day that you're watching this. It could be anytime, because it could be anywhere on the planet. That's pretty neat. So Wolverine number 17 and a 7.5 plus for $16. It's going to go up on A. Oh wait, who's the artist? Was I right? John Byrne. I was way off. That's on A. X-Men 211. That's the 25th anniversary border. Basically 25 years since Fantastic Four number 1 came out in 1961. If my memory serves me well, it usually doesn't. So which means this is 1986. Survey says 1986. All right, going up on B for Byrne, not Lee. Spider-Man vs. Wolverine number 1. That's a one-shot. It's just really cool cover art. It's a wraparound cover. Lots of fun. 8.0 for $14. It's going to go up on C. Incredible Hulk and Wolverine that probably came out about the same year. Again, really cool cover art. I think it reprints the story from Hulk 181. Don't quote me on that. Also has wraparound cover. 8.5 for $19. Cover art, John Byrne. So that's pretty cool. And the first U.S. reprint of Hulk 180 and 181. So I was right. Goes up on D. X-Men #1, Volume 2. One of these days we'll have a Volume 1, #1. But this is Volume 2. This is the Magneto cover. Remember, there's 4 different covers that all connect together to make this really long gatefold art. I think that's the best-selling comic book of all time, right above the Death of Superman, Superman #75. And then there's also the collector's edition. So there's 5 printings, not including the newsstand copies. 9.4 plus for 19. It's going to go up on F, classic Jim Lee cover. And yeah, there's that collector's edition gatefold I was talking about. 9.2 plus for 16. It's going to go up on G. And X-Men Classic #1. It's an 8.0 for $24. Basically, they went back and reprinted a lot of the classic X-Men stories. They actually added a little bit to each story, some panels here and there, some full pages. If I remember correctly, these also feature wraparound art, and the covers are original. So the first time you see the art from these covers is on these books, which I think adds a lot to the collectability of them. So it's a newsstand 8.0, $24. #1, gonna go up on H. X Factor 1. This really is #1's night. The theme is definitely #1. Totally subconscious, even though it is the most common comic book issue number for obvious reasons. But I think it's a fun theme. So we got X Factor #1. It's 8.0 for $19. That's going to go up on I. I don't have the chat up right now, so if people are asking questions, I can't actually see it because I didn't grab it. 1 second. There's a lot of mic static. Got it. Thank you. Let me see if I can compare that. I don't know if I'm going to be able to fix that this time, but thank you for letting me know. I will definitely go back and watch the video. Hopefully it's not unintelligible, because that was a lot of talking. But at the same time, it's always good practice. Thank you so much. And I'm just going to get through this last wall, and we'll do some troubleshooting and more improvement for next week. We might have live sale #1 next week. Might also be test #4. We shall see. Mighty Thor 364, the first Throg. He was, I believe, in the Loki show, in this little jar when they're going from the underground to the above ground part, and some dimension that they got stranded in. So it's a 9.0 for $21. It's a really fun book, really fun cover. This is going to go up on J. And let's see, we got Long Shot #1, 9.4 for $39. And that's got to be, who did this? Art Adams did the cover. Really cool. On K, Star Wars Tales of the Jedi, first printing. This is the collected story. So it's the trade paperback, not the individual issues, obviously, but it's still a first print. Those are a little bit hard to come by, especially in high grade. 9.2 plus for $25. That's going to go up on L. We got Star Wars, no issue number. Come on, man. Oh, this one it's a 9.0 for $75, but it has no notes. This is Jedi vs. Sith #1. So I'm going to go ask Sam about that one. Put it up on M for now. And we got Star Wars Jango Fett #1. It's 8.0 for $35. So we got Star Wars Heir to the Empire #3. 9.4 plus for $25. Beautiful cover art. I believe that's the second or third appearances of, well, I think everyone who's important firsts are in issue #1. It's 9.4 plus for $25. Star Wars Boba Fett #1. cool cover. It's a 9.2 for $69. That book came out in 1995, and I'll go ahead and put that on letter P. I see your comment, Marissa. Thank you so much. I appreciate the feedback, the live feedback. I'm sure I'll get a lot more of it, or I could just come up to the camera and talk at it like this. But I'll probably put in a boom mic for next time, so sound quality should be pristine, and we won't have to deal with that again. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. This was Tuesday night, I believe the 18th, from Folsom, California. If you have any questions, again, please reach out to me. Let me know what's going on. I know the mic's kind of low right now. I know it was staticky before. We will solve that and probably make a variety of other improvements. But I had a great time. I think this went really well. My name is Landon Peets. This is All Comics and Collectibles, LLC, and we will see you